Yeah, I haven't seen Ted Lasso yet, but I was told to watch it. So yeah, I think coaching from a mental aspect is very important. I think that's one of the key sort of pillars of the game is that mental side of things. And for me, it's usually a from a positive aspect. I asked certain things from them at halftime, and they came out and delivered in the second half. And so I wanted it at post game to encourage them and remind them to with me to not be afraid to fail going for greatness, to be themselves and to push for the game and play to win, and all the other things that whatever I said in the moment were for the moment. And so, but I think it's important. I think players have to feel comfortable when they're on the field to express themselves and their personalities and to play. And I think that's when you get the most out of players, and when they enjoy playing the game is when they're at their best. And so, trying to create an environment that encourages that is important for what we do. I think that's becoming more and more evident in the game and from coaches around the world. So I mean, it's just how I kind of go about things. As far as Javier, I think getting off to a two goal start in the first game is great for him. I think he's put a lot of pressure on himself, and a lot of people have talked about that over the last year. Some of his struggles and the things that everybody wants to talk about, but getting off to a two-goal start, I think, allows him to, again, just kind of relax. He's not pushing for and forcing it to try to find that first goal. It came for him in the first day. Just fitting in with what our team is trying to do and the structure of the group. He's going to get his chances and the goals are going to come. And just being able to kind of relax and trust that process and let it happen is it's easier now that he's got those couple goals under his belt. And so I'm sure there's some relief with that for him. And he's a fantastic player, and these things they're gonna keep going into the back of the net if he just keeps being himself and keeps doing what he does. And so I'm happy for him. And this week he's come out, and today it's the same mentality to battle and compete and fight and to do all the things that have helped him to get the first two goals to get more goals hopefully this weekend and throughout the season.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. First off, on Ethan and what he added to your attack in that sense of dimensionality and able to stretch what you guys were doing, do you anticipate Kevin Cabral adding the same sort of verticality to that offense? Is that the effect you anticipate him having?
Yeah, very much. I mean, I think, Ethan is a little bit more of a forward who sometimes we use wide. Kevin's a wide player who can kind of play forward too, but most importantly, as you said, is the characteristics of the player. It's the players who are playing for the space that's out in front of them or behind the back line and are trying to constantly threaten the depth, is what we call it, and creating opportunities behind the opposition's back line. And so he'll provide that. Ethan provides that. I think as Sam Granzier, as he continues to get fit, he'll continue to add some more of that. I think we need to find that right balance in our group between guys who want to stretch the field and stretch the game and play vertical, and those who want to find the ball between the lines. And so we have a fair amount of guys who like the ball between lines. Then we got to find the balance now between getting into the depth and threatening the space behind the back line.
And one more, you've had a series of firsts here from your introduction to your first game as head coach to now you're kind of looking at your first game as head coach in front of fans, the Galaxy fans that you've played for. What kind of emotions have you been feeling this week coming off the win, and what are you looking forward to the most on Sunday?
Emotions. It's as soon as one game ends, I'm immediately on to thinking about the next game. In terms of preparing the team, and the Red Bulls are always this special sort of style of play that you deal with that's maybe a little different than others. So trying to prepare our group for last week was a relatively slow game in the hot, humid environment of Miami. And this game, though it might be warm, the Red Bulls play a very different style than Miami. So for me, it's immediately just shifting my mindset to try to get the guys prepared for the match, with 4 or 5 days to do so. And then the second part is I'm excited to be in this stadium with our home fans and supporting our group, because I know just from our guys, they're going to be excited. They'll take that emotion. I'm sure that will be translated onto the field in terms of how they play and what they put into the game. It's always nice to have your crowd behind you. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited again to be back in this stadium and wearing the Galaxy crest and playing in front of coaching and our guys playing in front of the fans. So I'm really looking forward to it. But the first thing is the training sessions leading up to the game to prepare for this thing, so that we're ready to go.
Thanks, Mickey. We'll go next to Larry Morgan with Corner of the Galaxy. Larry, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for speaking with us this afternoon, as always. I have two questions. The first one is about Victor. This is the first regular season game in MLS he started in quite some time, but did he look like the same Victor Vazquez you had in Toronto? And two, what kind of impact do you think Oniel Fisher can have on this team?
Yeah, I mean, the first on Victor, I think he looks like the same Victor. I mean, the thing about Victor is he plays the game in his mind and in his head before anybody else on the field is figuring out what's going on. His capacity to just manipulate and find little spaces on the field so that when he receives the ball, he can face forward and know solutions and all that kind of stuff. That's irrelevant to his legs or anything else. He's just playing the game at a different level in terms of in his head and speed-wise in his mind than everybody else in terms of that. So it's nice to see that back there again. I think in terms of sharpness and all those things that all of the guys in the league across not just our team, everyone's going to continue to get sharper in terms of execution and connections with their teammates, things like that. It's the first game of the year, so and he's only been in training for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. So all of that's going to continue to come. But again, just his ability to organize the game and find space and be able to put himself in places to see passes that most guys don't see is special to him. And I saw that again the other night. Obviously, it counted for one of the goals, and there was a couple of times where I thought some passes might have been there, and he played them. We just need to be able to do more with them as we go. As far as Oniel, he's just a veteran of this league who he knows and understands what playing in MLS is about. He's a veteran, kind of savvy defender. He's 2-footed, so he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he'll control the ball with his left, right. So there's something there that's efficient about what he does. But I think the best quality he has for us, he's a great personality in our team and in our locker room, and he's confident and he just knows the league. And you need just some experienced guys who've played a lot of games in this league so that they can play roles for you throughout the course of the season, and he'll do so for us as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Larry. We'll go next to Tom Bogert with MLS. Tom, go ahead.
Hey, Greg, thanks for taking the time. 2 questions. I'll go first. I mean, you touched on it a little bit about the differences between Miami and the Red Bulls, and the preparation you guys are doing. But how do you think that your team is going to handle, a completely different game, a completely different pace than what you played against Miami?
Yeah, there's some things that about it that I think will suit us. I think we're a team that likes to get the ball moving faster, and sometimes when teams through their press make us play faster, I think that suits us. I think, but on the same time, I think it's going to be faster and a more intense game than probably we've seen in the last few games, because we played those games in Arizona mid-afternoon. They were hot. They didn't have super high intensity. So that's something that we have to really value is the time on the field, because that's what they try to do. They try to take away your time. They try to put you under pressure quickly, and we've really got to be attentive to being in the right spaces at the right time so that we have solutions when the press comes. We've got to make sure that we take care of the ball in front of our goal in our half the field, because they want to use the transitions as a big part of how they attack. So there's things about, there's things in there that I think can suit us. There's also some things in there that I think we just need to be attentive to, because it's early in the season, and we just have to be sharp, understanding that at times pressure is going to come faster and more aggressive than it did last week, for example.
And real quick, and I'm sorry if you touched on this before, I was a minute or two late, but is there any updated timeline for Kevin Cabral?
The timeline that I have should be arriving at the beginning of next week. I don't know if that yet is Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. he has an appointment to get the visa stuff done, and hopefully we can get him turned around and get him here. And then from there, we'll see where he's at. And obviously, I have to go through quarantine process for it, whatever that looks like. And then we'll have him ready to go when he's physically ready, and when we get through all of the hoops that we've got to get through, that are out there at this point.
Thank you.
Thanks. I think we have time for one more. I'm going to go to Damien Calhoun with Daily News Group. Damien, go ahead.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Good, Damien. How are you?
Good. Somebody changed the time on me, so I'm a little bit late.
I showed up early. You weren't late. I was early. So.
All right. Sorry if it's been asked already, but Adam Saldana got his first start there. What did you see out of his performance? As 19-year-old kid, throwing him out there in his first game. How do you see he sort of handled the day there for you guys?
Yeah, it was a great first game for Adam. I mean, he played against 2 World Cup veterans, I think, and a player from Brazil, Gregoire, I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it, who is a savvy veteran player. So here's a 19-year-old kid whose first game in the league is against a World Cup winner, a Mexican international, and a Brazilian player who has played a number of games in the Brazilian First League. So what a great test for him. I thought he had some very good moments where he's on the ball and he shows his composure and his capacity to find different passes and his range of passing. I think there are some moments where, again, I think in general, just the speed of the game needs to change pace a little bit more for him, going from nice and calm and composed to accelerating a little bit more and giving his time to the players ahead of them so that they have a tougher job to create goals and score goals. So it's, again, just kind of changing speeds at the right time in the right moments. And then defensively, I thought he did a solid job getting tighter to people and being a little more physical and in the right moments as a defensive midfielder is something he'll continue to grow into as he continues to play. So again, I thought he was solid. He fits in. It's just going to be now learning and increasing. Sometimes that changes speed, and sometimes just on the defensive side, he has a good feel for things defensively. But it's just when things are happening fast on the field, making sure he's in the right spots at the right time. So when things, transition or take place, he's ready to impose himself on the situation. So he's a fantastic young player, and it was a great learning experience for him, and it's tough conditions too. So all things in that, I'm very happy with him, and he's had a great preseason. So we're looking forward to what he's going to continue to add to our group for the rest of the year.
And one quick follow-up. When you have so many teenagers on the roster, how do you sort of balance keeping them focused, you got to keep their confidence up? I mean, minutes might be tough to come by for some of these guys going forward here. How do you sort of, keep your confidence up and keep them focused and motivated during training and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think keeping them as involved as we possibly can through this, giving them opportunities, letting them know that, when they perform well or do well, there's opportunities that are going to come from that so that they're rewarded for what they're bringing to the equation. A lot of these young guys they're talented. So it's, keeping the environment, one, in which they're learning and improving and they can feel that, but two, where they're rewarded with opportunities to get out on the field and show what they're capable of doing. So, there's a few guys who got that this week, and Saldana and Cam got out there. Efra is a guy who we're going to use a lot during the course of the year, and others whose names I haven't brought up in the moment. But there's plenty of kids. Johnny Perez is another one they're going to play a role. They did a nice job in preseason, and I have confidence in them. So when the situation presents itself and it's right for them, they're going to get their opportunities.
It was a great win by you guys this past weekend. It looked like you looked a lot more comfortable there in the midfield with your teammates, and it looked like you and Chicharito were able to connect more. How are you feeling with the team and the system and the guys you're playing alongside with?
Yeah, with the system, I'm used to play for Greg, and I'm used to play this kind of system because all my career I play like 4-3-3 or 3-4-3. All the teams that I have played, also we we try to control always the game, to have as much as ball possession as we can, and I think we show a lot of good things the last weekend. Of course, the most important is to win the game, but I think the second half we made good stuff, good things. Also with the subs that Greg did, I think that they were the right players to come in, because we were feeling that we were having much more the ball, but we had to create more chances. And finally, we scored 3 goals, and so happy for the team, so happy for Chicha, because he deserved that. And now move on and try to do the same against Red Bull on Sunday.
Thanks. We'll go next to a question from Kevin Baxter. Kevin, go ahead.
Thanks, Chris. Hey, Victor, thanks for your time. Congratulations on your first game at the Galaxy.
Thank you, man.
Just sort of the same question I asked Greg. You've played a long time, played around the world. And, you know, Chicharito has been very open lately about the mental approach to the game and how he struggled mentally, and it carried over onto the field, and now he feels better mentally. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about how has that changed, if it has, in your career and in different countries. Is the mental approach now, it used to be people thought if you talked about mental approach, you were weak, you weren't strong. Now it seems like people take that seriously. How do you feel about that, and how has it changed?
Yeah, I think most of the players we have this in our career. We have better times, we have tough times like Chicha was having the last year. I had it also in Qatar, because I didn't feel like so good playing in there, because it's not the same way as I was playing in Toronto, or I was playing in Bruges or in Barcelona. I think all of us, we have these kind of moments, and I think it's hard to explain, because when you are not mentally prepared, also you get injuries. Maybe the mentality of the people around you, or whatever is going on, sometimes is hard. And I think Chicharito now feels like really good. I think Greg also, talking with him, I know Greg very well, and I know that Greg want to have him as 100% and as good as possible. And we saw it on the pitch the last weekend. Chicharito was our best player on the pitch. He scored goals that it's really important for us, really important for him. Like I said, he really deserved this game. And now keep working the same, because we have a lot of good things to come. For sure, we're going to have fun, like I always say, because with Greg and with that we have with the people around, we're going to have a lot of fun, and we have to be prepared again for Sunday, because Miami, it's already in the past, and now we have to go for Red Bull.
But is it good? Is it a good thing that players feel able to talk about the mental part? Because when you started playing, people didn't talk about that, and now they talk about the mental part as if it's, you know, an injury or fitness, or it's just part of the game.
Yeah, of course, it's part of the game, part of the life. I think all of us, we have problems also outside from our job. And I think it's really important, the mental part. Of course, during the game, during the season, we're going to have really hard moments, because all is not as easy as we think. Of course, now getting a winning in Miami, you feel more confidence, more prepared, more happy even. But it's going to come really hard moments. We have to be prepared for that. We have a lot of guys also in the staff, like Mike, that he's doing this job, and I think we are prepared. That's the most important. And I think also the most important is the atmosphere we have right now in the group. We have a very healthy atmosphere, and that's really important for our club.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Nikki K. Nikki, go ahead.
Hey, Victor, congratulations on the win. Question for you. You've won with Coach before, so it's easy for you to believe in his system. But in the clubhouse, how much does a win like that in Miami kind of reinforce the buy-in on what he's trying to instill there with your guys' culture?
Yeah, for sure, it's a big step for the players, for the club, also for Greg and his staff. It's very important to get a win away in the first game of the season, and also with a lot of new players that we are not used to play together, and we have to know each other better. I think it was a great game. Like I said, we have the ball possession as, I think, like 66 or 67% is crazy. It's so good for us. It's our identity. We have to to do it like this on every game, and now build it. I think by game, try to build this identity, try to be more confident, try to play better, try to score more goals, to concede less goals. We know that we concede 2 goals, but it was a bit tough because one, I think it was in offside position from Higuain, and the other one, it was a PK. Then I think we were working so hard also in the defense way. Our center backs, Dan and Nick, were so good, and we have to be proud what we did in Miami.
Going to go next to one more question in English before moving into Spanish. Larry Morgan, go ahead.
Hi, Victor. Thanks for your time. It's been more than 2 years since you played a regular season game in this league. What did you miss about MLS? What are some of the things that you missed about this league in your time away?
I think I miss all, because when I moved to Qatar, I thought it's going to be more or less like MLS, but when I arrived there and I start to know the league, the players all around Qatar, I really miss my time in MLS, and of course with Toronto. I was so happy in Toronto. I had everything. The first year when I came from Mexico, we won the treble. I think it was an unbelievable season for us. The second season in Toronto, it was not that good, also because when you win everything, it's difficult to get again everything. To win a treble is not easy. But yeah, I miss many things. Here, I love to play here. I think the MLS is growing a lot. It's really competitive. All the teams, they have really good players, really good mentality. The facilities that every club has, it's also amazing. And the culture, I think, like I said, it's growing so much, MLS, and the people really don't know. They think that we are coming here to retire, and this is not true.
Chris, I didn't have a question, but I do want to tell Oniel that's a great hoodie. I love that.
Like it? It's my logo.
Please give my time to someone who hasn't asked a question yet. Thanks, Chris.
Let's go to Damian Calhoun. Damian, go ahead.
Hey, Oniel, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just want to get your thoughts on your early days here with the Galaxy. I know you were down with an injury there for a while. And how did you feel, going through your injury and then getting out there Sunday for the first game?
I mean, it was a working process. Had a conversation with the coaches earlier in preseason when I got the little knock, and then we kind of figured out what was best for me, and also what was best for the team at that time, and it was best for me to just kind of go ahead and take the time to get myself right before the season starts. So I'm not having any lingering injuries going on throughout the season, and I think for preparation for the first game, I mean, I only played in 5 months, probably the 35 minutes of the last preseason game. That was it before the first game against Miami. But, I mean, mentally, for me, I mean, I knew I had to play 90 minutes, so I prepared myself mentally to kind of get through.
And what is it? I mean, your first time putting on a Galaxy jersey, but seeing how the guys sort of reacted to the win, you get a sense of how big it was, and how important it was for the guys to start off with a win.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys know what the goal is for this year, and our main focus is just to be together as a group and be there for each other, play for each other, and fight every minute, every second for each other. And I think we showed that last game, showed the characteristics of each and every one of the players, and we have a good group here, I think all guys are pretty bought into whatever the coaches want and whatever the organization is going for. So I think you will see more moving forward.
All right,
Thanks, Damien. We'll go next to Nikki K. Nikki, go ahead.
Hi, Oniel. Congratulations and welcome to the Galaxy. Question for you. I know it's been a quick turnaround here, but what's your impressions of the overall chemistry on the defense right now, and also working alongside Jonathan Bond? He's had a strong preseason and strong debut in Game 1. So what do you like playing alongside him?
I mean, I think we've been solid so far. Obviously, there's still stuff we could work on, but thus far we've been doing good and doing what we've asked. And I think as the season go on, we'll gel more together as a group, as a defensive group as well. And then I think Bond's been good for the most part. He's been fantastic. He's made a lot of great saves that kept us in games throughout preseason, as you saw in the last game as well. So, I mean, I think defensively we'll get there. As I said, it's time, I think.
Awesome. We'll go next to a question from Larry Morgan before finishing out with one from Chris Maldonado. Larry, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Thanks for your time, Oniel. Can you talk about the process of you joining the Galaxy? Was it a long, involved one? Did it happen quickly? Why the Galaxy?
It was a long process. I think the process started in December, around mid-December. It didn't got done. The deal got done around February, around February 2nd, around there. But it's a long story. So it started with basically the agent that I was with, and then I ended up changing agent and agency, and then we figured out a deal and got stuff sorted out. But it was a long process back and forth with the Galaxy and I, and then we came to agreement that I always wanted to play for the Galaxy, so that kind of made it even easier for me to just get to go ahead. But it was definitely a long process, and I mean, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and it's just another one to showcase my talent and what I could do.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think we have time for one more quick one from Chris Maldonado. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Neil. First of all, congratulations on that win on Sunday. You had a good showing. Oniel, you've been in the league for a very long time. You are an experienced right back. You played for some very big clubs, Seattle Sounders and DC United, and of course now with the LA Galaxy. That's a lot of experience you can bring to that right back position. How do you think you can help Julian Araujo, who's a young prospect, better himself as a professional?
I think for Julian, I mean, he's already had the tools. I mean, his main thing is just, I think from what my tips and what I would say is just, I mean, taking care of himself and trying to get better each day. Spend time learning the game, and we all have um, or disadvantages and advantages in different ways, and we all have good attributes, and and some we don't have some stuff. But I think as long as he work on what he does best, I think that will help him even more. For the stuff that he doesn't really do good, I mean, he still can work on it. We all have that little space that we need to always work on something. We can always improve on something, and he just need to continue to do his thing. I think he's a bright spark, and he's gonna get the experience and gain the experience over the more games he play over the season, and I think he could really go far in his career. I'm excited to see his future. I love how he plays, and I mean, I've always wanted for the young guys to just keep their heads on their bodies and do what they have to do. Don't stray from their task and what they're here to do.